Today on the Help, I'm Trapped in a Spaceship Says Drew Says podcast, I'll be discussing YouTubers losing the ability to shut off unskippable ads and other stuff too, so go ahead and stick around. It is true, I have been abducted and now I am stuck on a spaceship. Thank goodness they have a camera, an internet connection, a U87, and a preamp, so I can still record my podcast, and I'm more concerned about that than I am about escaping from my captors. First story, YouTube sent out an email, and this is a bit concerning because YouTubers are now going to lose the ability to shut off unskippable ads. Here is what the email said. Later this year, we'll be updating ad controls in YouTube Studio to extend best practices and optimize creator earnings. Simplifying pre-roll, post-roll, skippable, and non-skippable ad controls on long-form videos. Starting in November, we're optimizing creator revenue and taking the guesswork out of which ad formats to use by removing individual ad controls for pre-roll, post-roll, skippable, and non-skippable ads on newly uploaded videos. Going forward, when creators turn ads on, viewers may see any of these ad formats. As we currently do today, YouTube will utilize many factors to determine when viewers will see these types of ads to both maximize revenue and ensure a positive viewing experience. These factors includes the amount of time viewers are exposed to ads and the number of times an ad interrupts the video they're watching. This change will only apply to new uploads. All previously uploaded videos will retain their existing ad format selections unless a video's monetization settings are edited in the future. Creators will also continue to have full control over mid-roll ad placements and whether to turn these ads on or off. Why are we making this change? We recommended pre-roll, post-roll, skippable, and non-skippable ads as a best practice and are now extending this to all creators to help optimize creator earnings. Most creators shouldn't notice a change as they already have many of these ad formats turned on by default. In the last year, for long-form videos that were enabled for monetization at time of publishing, more than 90% of videos had pre-roll, post-roll, skippable, and non-skippable ads turned on. In an experiment in 1H 2023, we observed that creators who had non-skippable ads enabled, in addition to multiple combinations of all other ad formats, saw an average of over 5% greater YouTube ad revenue and a less than 1% decrease in watch time compared to creators who did not have non-skippable ads enabled. In an experiment in 1H 2023, we observed that creators who had pre-roll ads enabled in addition to multiple combinations of all other ad formats saw an average of over 15% greater YouTube revenue and a less than 5% decrease in watch time compared to creators who did not have pre-roll ads enabled. What else is changing? Since mid-roll ads have become part of live stream and long-form videos viewing experience, we're giving creators more mid-roll controls in the coming months to help increase potential earnings. New mid-roll ad controls for live streams. To help creators earn while live streaming, creators can opt to have YouTube optimize or self-select mid-roll ads to appear at set intervals during a live stream. Before an ad appears in Live Control Room, creators will see a 60-second countdown with the option to skip the ad. Soon, we're introducing a new Delay Ads button to delay mid-rolls and live display ads from appearing for 10 minutes. If an ad is skipped or delayed, the Insert Ads button can be used to manually insert a mid-roll at any time. Optimizing mid-roll ad breaks on long-form videos. To help creators optimize mid-roll ad frequency and earnings on their long-form videos, we'll be introducing another option to select mid-roll ad breaks. In the coming months, creators will have the option to allow our systems to consider both YouTube's recommended and creators' manual ad breaks. Since an ad is not shown in every ad break, this gives our system more choices to select the most appropriate time to show a viewer an ad, benefiting both creators and viewers. There you go. I read you the entirety of the email. What are my thoughts on this? It has been a point of pride of mine that this podcast has No unskippable ads. I have had that shut off for the life of this channel. As long as it has been monetized, I have had unskippable ads turned off. I can no longer say that if I re-engage monetization because I did have such an amazing turnout in Super Thanks. I shut off all monetization for the remainder of the year. There are no advertisements on this channel. So you won't see unskippable ads or skippable ads on this channel. But if I turn monetization on in the future, there's nothing I can do about it now. They're going to show you unskippable ads. The creator has no choice in it. This is the danger of creating your entire business. This isn't a business, this is a hobby for me, but creating your entire existence, publishing your content on somebody else's platform. We can complain about it, we can say this is stupid, but in the end, we made the decision to upload our content to YouTube. We could upload to Vimeo, we could upload to Rumble, we could upload to Odyssey. There are other options out there, yet we choose to upload to YouTube, and that gives them the ability to do whatever the hell they want in terms of advertisements. I needed to grab the sheet of paper again. They give a couple of interesting statistics. For non-skippable ads, there is a less than 1% decrease in watch time when those are enabled. I'm not terribly concerned with that. What I am concerned with is pre-roll ads. A 5% or a less than 5% decrease in watch time when pre-roll ads are enabled. That's good information to have, because on my main channel, which is Podcastage, I buy a lot of the gear that I review, which means there is a lot of overhead. It is a hobby, but I do not want to burn myself financially to make those videos, so I do have monetization enabled. I have pre-roll, and I have unskippable ads. So based on the statistics that they gave, I'm probably seeing an approximately 6% decrease in watch time by having those enabled. Maybe I should reconsider, although they did say pre-rolls increased revenue by 15%, so I would be shooting myself in the foot. I know it's all about offering a great viewing experience, but when there is so much overhead, like the microphone that I'm talking into right now, this cost me $3,700. I need to make that money back somehow. I need to make that money back somehow by offering that service. I don't think there's anything we can do here other than complain about it. We can complain about it, say, hey, give us control over what we do on our videos. But in the end, YouTube still has the final say. They can say, no, get lost. Get lost. We give you free hosting. We give you free distribution. We give you free discoverability. Pound sand if you want us to earn less money. We are going to earn money on the content that you provide. That's what we signed up for, unfortunately. So I may not be a fan of it because, as I mentioned, it's been a point of pride. Hey, no unskippable ads on this channel. I can't say that anymore. That's really all I have in terms of news. I would love to hear from you in the comments down below. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think this is a huge overstep of YouTube's authority? Are they abusing their authority? Is this justifiable? Do we have the right to be angry, or do we just have to bite our tongues and say, thank you, may I have another? Thank you, may I have another? Let me know. Let's talk. You may notice that I am in a spaceship, and I have a lot of work to do on my review, so I wanted to be a little bit more relaxed, so I didn't spend the time crafting an escape plan, so that's why I'm here. What I've been testing, or what I'm that's you have been listening to. I am on the U87. I am committing a crime by running this into the Behringer Tube Ultra Gain Mic 300, an $80 preamp and limiter, and it is tube, and this is probably the only time this mic has been run through a preamp of that quality. And then I am running line level into the Universal Audio X8, so I'm at least getting good conversion. That's what I have been testing. That's what you have been listening to, and I apologize if there is any kind of background noise. Spaceships are loud. The torture of the innocent is very loud as well. Hopefully there's not screaming in the background. That would be terrifying. Let's talk about what you had to say. First comment comes from Wolf Gilbert. He says, Wimpy from the Popeye cartoons. I will gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today. Thank you very much, Wolf, and thank you very much, Liberty Dude. I had no idea who this character was. I don't think I have ever even seen an episode of Popeye. But I laughed myself to sleep watching clips of him, and there were 2 of them, and I just giggled. And then I looked at the comments, and it said, this is a perfect indication of the American debt crisis or something like that. Yeah, pretty much. I'll pay you tomorrow for something today. Let me go into debt for a hamburger. I love Wimpy. He is the best. He cracked me up. They don't make him like they used to, I guess. That's a popular saying. Next, we have a comment from Sound Speeds. He says, if people are going to donate and you're going to read their comment, they should write copy for you to say, hi, this is Bandrew, and you've reached the voicemail of Sound Speeds. Leave your message at the tone, and I'll get back to you when I can. How was that, Alan? Was that a good copy read? I feel pretty confident in that one. And you're getting a high-quality microphone. Go ahead and use that, and you didn't even have to pay for that. You cheated me out of some money there, Alan. What gives, man? But yes, that is the case. People could probably make me read most things as long as it's not offensive, as long as it's not going to get me canceled. I would probably read copy for your answering machine. Yeah, that happens on a lot of shows that are value for value. The contributors, the supporters, the producers, they use it as a way to get the host to read what they want. And sometimes it is an answering machine. Sometimes it's a promotion for a podcast. Sometimes it's, I don't know, saying happy birthday to somebody. It's a good way to go about it. This is going to be hard for me to read. But next I have Casper, I think. It's very small. Very small. Here, I'll hold it up. That's very hard for me to read. I got dicky eyes. Is that a saying? Bandrew Zorus, I just heard your rant about illegal microphones, and while I fully agree with your conclusion, counterfeit manufacturers should not be supported, I have to point out the simplifications and mistakes you made. Well, to put it simply, products preying on the design and brand of larger companies can be divided into 2 categories. 1, clear counterfeit products. For a product to be considered illegal fraud, 1 or 2 situations must occur. A, product infringes design or patents. B, the product has a misleading logo or name. 2, visually similar products to known other products. Here we can deal with 2 situations. A, white label product, an identical product coming from the same production line as the original one, but with changed branding. An example of such a product can be, for example, IKEA batteries, which are actually hidden Sanyo on a loop. B, cost-produced products, completely different inside, more or less reminiscent of a known other product. Such a product can be nice for people for whom only the status of having premium product matters and the quality or performance is not so important, as unsuspecting consumer can also fall for such a product. But if there is no logo of a well-known brand on the packaging and the device and the external appearance is not patented, there is also no crime. In addition, it is worth mentioning the completely legal activities of, for example, Amazon, which often copy solutions from popular good products under the Basics banner and offers its products at a much lower price. Often these products are not bad quality, and for many consumers, they are the optimal choice in the context of price quality. Such actions are also legal, although completely immoral, and I hate Bezos. I'm not going to say that. And when it comes to overtly counterfeit products, i.e., those with logos of well-known brands. These types of products are very rare in first world countries because those products are confiscated by the customs office at the border and you can be fined. I'm from Poland, and even in our bazaars, there are no counterfeits of Adidas, only Adidas, Anidos, Adodas, etc. Much more likely, you could buy a Prada bag for $10 in China or Pakistan. Anyway, thank you for your good work, Bandrew. Keep it up. Casper, thank you very much for the email. I found this very interesting, hearing a discussion and breakdown about actual counterfeit, cloning, white label, all of that stuff. It is such a fascinating topic, and those are very different things. White label and cloning are vastly different from counterfeiting. Last week, I was talking about counterfeiting, which is why I kept saying counterfeiting. I'll discuss this a bit later in the episode as well. But I want to push back a little bit. You mentioned that it's extremely rare for actual counterfeit items to be in first world countries. But if you look around on YouTube, if you look at the comments on last week's episode, it doesn't seem as rare as you make it out to be. I don't know how it's happening, but people are getting counterfeit items. It is mentioned that it is hell trying to buy a used piece of audio gear nowadays because there is so much counterfeit crap out there. I don't know what the solution is short of just buying through authorized dealers or buying from a trusted source that you know, because seems like a lot of the used stuff, well, I can't say a lot of it because I don't know the actual breakdown, but it seems like it's not as rare as you make it out to be. It seems as though counterfeit stuff is happening, and not just in Pakistan or China, in the United States. In Julian had to make a video about counterfeit SM7Bs. So in Germany, I know there are counterfeit factories for Sennheiser, Shure, Neumann as well, I believe. And there have been raids on them a couple of years ago. I can't remember the episode. And of course, these are not in America or Germany, but there was a raid on a counterfeit factory who was making Shure products. And somehow those are making their way into the States, into Germany, into not just Pakistan and China. So that's the one thing I wanted to push back on, but the rest is very interesting about white label and all of that. Thank you very much. Next, we are going to the super thanks section. Super thanks! I need to make like a superhero theme song for that. We have a $5 Canadian due super thanks from Ruse Reviews. He says, "Thanks for everything you do, including turning ads off to make your viewers' lives a little better. That is really kind and considerate. As was the time you helped me with my audio setup in episode 189. I never forgot that. Here are 5 canolers for the experiment." Rue, thank you very much for the super thanks. Thank you for the support, and I truly do appreciate it for you sharing the information, the screenshots, all of that, for allowing me to help you with your audio setup, sending in the questions, and all of that. Absolutely appreciated. That is it for the super thanks. Again, all of these super thankers, is that what we're going to call them? The super thankers, the supporters, have made this show ad-free for the next 3 months, 4 months. How long is left in this year? I don't know. But that is it. Now let us jump. We're doing it again to my favorite part of the show, the Ask Bandrew segment. I'll stand in front of it the entire time it rolls because I can do that now. All right, I hope the theme is done because I don't have it playing in my headphones. It was playing in my head. The tempo could be off. I could have forgot how the theme goes. So if I'm talking and the theme is still going, this is weird. Welcome to the Ask Bandrew segment, the segment where you ask me, Bandrew, and I attempt to answer you, questionnaire. If you have questions that you want answered, go to askbandrew.com. Askbandrew.com. Amazing what a spaceship is capable of presenting. The first submission we have comes from Dario from Record 216. Take it away, Dario.
What's up, Bandrew? This is Dario. It's kind of crazy that you did your last video about counterfeits, because I really wanted to like do a video submission about, you know, trying to actually convince you of doing reviews of clone microphones. I'm a big fan of clone microphones and stuff like that. In fact, I'm using a clone mic from a company called Go-To Tools, where they make this right. This particular one is, I think it's a clone of the Neumann TLM 103. They even make one for the 87. Like this, it looks just like the original one, except it doesn't have multiple polar patterns. It's not completely wrong to make clone microphones. I think a lot of companies out here, you know, they're able to, you know, they're inspired by famous microphones, and then they feel like they can add their own little personal touch to a famous mic and stuff like that. You know, there's a lot of companies out here that do that all the time when they modify famous mics. When they add like for example, if they get a tube mic, they'll replace the tube and then stuff like that. It's no longer the manufacturer's mic anymore. It's, you know, it's now a modified mic. You know, it's different. I just felt like your last video wasn't really clear, like about people making copies or cloning mics and stuff like that. I get the whole counterfeiting thing. Nobody should buy a microphone, you know, from a person that's trying to sell them something, you know, under somebody else's brand name. I get that. But I am a big fan of clone mics. I don't know. What do you think about that? Thanks for your time. I appreciate you.
Dario, thank you very much for the video submission. I really do appreciate it. If anybody is looking for another YouTube channel to check out, Dario runs Record 216. Go ahead and check it out. It is now obvious to me that last week on episode 360 of the BSP, I was not clear about the difference between counterfeit and clone microphones. If you look at the comments, people clearly misunderstood me. When I was saying counterfeit microphones, I meant counterfeit microphones. I was not conflating counterfeit and clone. So let me explain my stance on clone microphones. They are not my favorite, but they are fine. The best case scenario for a clone microphone, in my opinion, is when a company is cloning a microphone that is no longer in production. Reason for that, a lot of the vintage gear doesn't perform. It's not as reliable as it used to be. A lot of it is prohibitively expensive, and it is not taking market share directly away from the OEM because the OEM no longer manufactures it. That is a best case scenario. I am perfectly fine with that. Still not my favorite, but perfectly fine with it. Where it gets a little bit more murky for me, where I become less in favor of it, when a company is cloning a product that is still in production, like a TLM 103. Yes, it may be offering an option at a more affordable price tier, but that is directly taking market share away from the OEM, because the OEM still sells it. Now, if they are trying to create some vintage version of the TLM 103, and that's how they market it, cool. I'm fine with that. Still not my favorite. Now, here is my much more jaded view on the entire process or ecosystem of clone microphones. When I see a company release a microphone and call it something like the Pod 87, it looks exactly like a U87. The model number has 87 in it. So when people are shopping around, they see Pod 87, looks like an 87. They are assuming they buy that product, they are going to get a sound quality that is similar to a U87. This tells me a couple of things about the product and the microphone, or maybe I should say it may tell me something about the product and the microphone, because this is a very jaded and cynical and negative way to look at things. Maybe it's just a bunch of people saying, I love the U87, I want to try to make my own version. That is the optimistic view of things. I love audio gear, I love microphones, I just want to make the most faithful recreation of that vintage one that I love. That's optimistic. On the cynical side, the very cynical side, maybe they don't believe in the product to stand on its own. They don't think people will listen to the sound samples, look at the specs, look at the marketing material of Pod 8928. That's the model number of my microphone, and say, that looks good. That sounds good. I must buy it. So they are hoping people will look at the model number and say, I like a U87. I must buy that because it will sound like a U87 and it is much cheaper. Without actually buying the microphone based on the merits itself, the sound quality itself, the performance itself. Also, this is undoubtable, I would say. They likely don't want to have to do any marketing, and they just want to get sales off the success of an existing microphone. I mean, obviously, because not having to do marketing saves you a bunch of money. That is an undeniable fact. And if you have to go out and advertise Pod 89569er, that's going to cost money because you have to pay for ads. You need to pay to send out models to people to cover, to journalists, to YouTubers, to podcasters, to get the coverage and to get the exposure. And it's a very slow process. I would just much rather these companies who spend so much time cloning or only exclusively do cloning, especially if they are cloning in production microphones. I would prefer, sure, if they are inspired, go ahead, be inspired by the U87, by the SM7B, by the Sennheiser E835. But don't make it look like that, and don't make the model number confusing. Make a product that you believe in, and then get popularity because the product is good, as opposed to relying on the success of other gear that already exists. That's the aspect of clone mics that I don't like. I love the concept behind, hey, this vintage gear is unattainable. It is unobtainium. The Elam 251, the vintage one that costs $20,000, yeah. 99.99999% of people will never be able to afford that, will never be able to use it, and it's not currently in production, so that I understand. But an SM7B clone, I don't think we really see much of those. I feel like I have boogers hanging out of my nose. I hope that's not the case. I'll blame it on the spaceship. The spaceship. I don't think we see SM7B clones, but as far as in production models, as far as U87 clones, modern U87 clones, I'm not in love with it. We see companies that do release original products that are of high quality, that fill a purpose, that fill a need, that people adopt. Is it easy? No, I can't imagine it is. I can't imagine it's easy to make a good product, to make a good microphone, to put it out there and compete based solely on the merits, based solely on the performance of your microphone. But we saw it. As I mentioned last week, the Q2U. One of the most popular microphones because it's $40 to $60. It is functional. It is decent. SE Electronics V7, a slow burn, eventually gaining a lot of popularity. The AT2020 served a purpose. It solved a problem. Affordable condenser microphone for home recording. King B, etc., etc., etc. These are all companies that may have been inspired by another microphone, but they did not label their microphones. They did not make it look like the microphone that they were inspired by. That's what I want. That's what I would prefer. I shouldn't say that's what I don't care what you do as a company. But I think that's what I would prefer to see from companies, because that tells me they have more skin in the game. They have more behind the microphone. They believe in the microphone to actually perform. That people will want their microphone as opposed to, I want a U87, I just can't afford it, so I'll buy the cheaper one. And if you get joy out of using the more power to you. More power. I'm fine with clones. It is just not my favorite. I would much rather see these engineers, these people who are clearly skilled and talented. I want to see them put all of their skill and talent into making the next great thing, because where are we if we just have people, let's do the same thing over and over again. Let's just make another U87 clone. We're just going to end up with a field of heckin' U87 clones. What's the next great microphone after the U87? That's why I think Lewitt is so darn cool. Are all of their microphones my favorite? God, no. I am pretty sure I spoke negatively about the 240 and the 440. I think they are far too bright. The 1040, though, holy Toledo. That was a group of incredibly talented individuals putting their best foot forward and making a product that stands on its own merit. They did not say, let's go ahead and make another U87 clone. Let's go ahead and do an Elam 251 clone. Or the Austrian Audio OC818. And both of these are teams that came from AKG. Clearly inspired by the C414. But they didn't name it the 414. They didn't make it look exactly like the 414. Nobody looking for a 414 is going to be confused that that's that. And they actually probably are the ones that designed the original 414, so they get a little bit more leeway. They could release the Austrian Audio OC414. I think they could get away with it because they're the people who designed it. That's my stance on it. I hope that cleared things up, or maybe people just think I'm an idiot now. They're not wrong. I am an idiot. Thank you very much, Dario. I really do appreciate it. Next, we have a video submission from Joe from Beards, Blades, and Hair. Take it away, Joe.
Hi, this is Joe from the YouTube channel Beards, Blades, and Hair, and I am asking for your help. Kind of a unique situation here. In my YouTube channel, I'm doing a lot of product reviews and then also demonstrations, all of which from my bathroom. All my product reviews have to do with hair, hence the name Beards, Blades, and Hair. My beard, my hair, and then I do straight razor shaving. And so I have to do everything in this super echoey bathroom to create a lot of audio problems for me. As of right now, I'm using the Zeal Sound K66, which you can see right here. And I did find a video podcast that you had done where you someone had a similar problem to me. And in that podcast video, you had recommended to them between getting a shotgun mic that was 6 feet away versus a shotgun mic overhead versus a lavalier mic. And you definitely recommended the shotgun mic overhead. So I think I'm that far where I should get a boom mic stand. I should get a shotgun mic, and then so I can put that out of frame, because this is kind of annoying having this in frame, and plus I don't want to bump it as I'm putting on product. So I am that far. The couple of things that I need some help on, I'm looking down at my notes, is in my situation, the biggest thing I'm looking for, obviously I'd like some good audio quality, but is there a particular shotgun mic that would be the best for eliminating or removing as much echo as possible at different price levels? So one of those ranges would be up to $100, another would be up to $400, and then up to $1,000. And then one more wrinkle to throw on here is I am looking for a USB mic, because I'm running everything directly into my camera, which is my iPhone. So right now, this Zeal Sound K66 is USB, the old type USB into an adapter. I don't want to mess around with an XLR microphone, like dealing with different soundboards, because this is the only use that I'm using it for. I really appreciate your help on this, and if you could let me know, I would really appreciate it. Thanks.
Well, this is something that I never thought I would be doing, but I am filming in my bathroom. Currently, I am recording to the Shure Motive Video app. The setup that I'm running is the Audio-Technica AT875R, running over XLR to XLR into the Shure Motive MVI interface. The reason that I'm doing this is, even though you said you do not want to mess around with XLR and you would prefer a USB microphone, I don't know of any USB shotgun microphones, so I can't recommend them, because I won't recommend something that I have not used, that I do not have experience with, and that I can't determine for myself if it's good or not. Currently, I am about 8 inches away from the shotgun microphone. I do just have it on a desktop stand on my counter because it's a very small bathroom. I don't have room here to put the microphone overhead and get a big microphone stand here. So this is my example of a shotgun microphone. Let me go ahead and see if I can get it a bit closer and get a slightly better sound. I got the microphone about 6 inches away now, and here's how it's sounding. I am still under booming due to space limitations, but here is what you could expect using this as opposed to a dynamic microphone or a microphone directly 2 inches away from your mouth. Now, just for good measure, I grabbed another small diaphragm condenser. This is the Shure KSM 141, I believe. I am on the cardioid polar pattern, no pad and no filter. I would say about 6 inches away from this thing, and here is how this compares to the Audio-Technica AT875R, as I almost drop a microphone in here. That would have been bad. Now, just for a point of comparison, I have the SE Electronics SEV7 connected to the same interface. I had to increase my gain to 100%. I don't think we're getting a super healthy level, but I just wanted to include a super cardioid dynamic, so you have that as a point of reference to see if it rejects more of the reverb, why did I say it that way? The reverb than one of the condensers, the shotgun or the SDC. We have one more test to do. Let's do that. I would also be remiss if I didn't include a sample of the built-in microphone in the iPhone. I am maybe 1 foot away from the camera using the front-facing camera, and here is how it sounds. Probably the worst sounding of the bunch because it's the farthest away, and yeah, there you go. Just a quick sample of the built-in mic. How bad does it sound? And the final test that I wanted to include is a lavalier microphone. So I have the Rode SmartLav clipped to my hoodie. I am running this through a Lightning to 3.5 millimeter adapter. I am recording this in the Shure software because the newest Rode software is not compatible on my iPhone 10. Apparently I'm a scrub because I don't have a 10S or newer, so I don't have any Rode software which allows me to record the microphone and video. So I am on the Shure Motive video app, and here is how this sounds. Probably also going to be picking up a lot of reverb because this is omnidirectional, but there you go. Hopefully that was helpful in determining what sounds best for you, and I gotta get back onto the spaceship or something.
Wow, thank you very much, Past Bandrew. I really do appreciate you setting up a camera and a microphone in your bathroom. That was very kind of you and not creepy or weird in the slightest. What were your thoughts? Which one do you think performed best? Let me know in the comments on YouTube. I'll give you a second because I'm going to rank them as far as reverberation rejection. I'll give you a second. I found the SE Electronics V7 to do the best with the reverb rejection. The second best was the cardioid small diaphragm condenser, the Shure KSM 141. Sheet of paper done. Then, third, we have the shotgun microphone, the Audio-Technica AT875R. Then, we have the lavalier microphone, which was the Rode Video Mic Go Plus, I think. And last was the phone's internal microphone. That makes sense that the phone did the worst because that was a foot and a half away from my face. So the mic was farther away from the sound source in an extremely reverberant room. That is obviously going to be the worst. I know I didn't answer your question exactly because I was on board for the first two questions and then you threw the wrench into the engine. Is that a saying? And you said, oh yeah, I want USB. I don't think there are any USB shotgun microphones, certainly not $400 or $1,000. So my compromise was using a Lightning audio interface and then using an XLR microphone. Or with the lav microphone,
using the Apple Lightning to 3.5 millimeter adapter. That is it. That is it for this episode. We are back with the Ask Bandrew segment. Let's see if I can hit the lens. I'm terrible. I have another sheet of paper. We're coming in, winding up. That was pretty good. All right. What am I doing? I don't know what the heck I'm doing. This spaceship is making me loopy. These pretzels are making me thirsty. This spaceship is making me loopy. All right. That's all that I have for you today. Thank you for sticking around through all of that. I appreciate you so much. You are an incredible human being. I hope you have an amazing Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Next Saturday, I will talk with you, at you, about you, under you, around you, above you, floating, about, and I will talk to you later. Thanks so much. Bye-bye. I don't remember if I said it, so just to be safe, I love you. That is it now. Bye-bye. Whoa, whoa.
This has been a Geeks Rising production. Your executive producer is Bandrew Scott. For more information, head over to www.geeksrising.com.